Hello and welcome to this second video in the flank opening series, and this will be the first video in the English system opening exploration, and we will investigate which are the best lines to play for for white, and which are the most common replies for black against these ideas employed by white in the English opening. And I think it is but natural that we begin with an interesting quick game. It was a draw. It was one of my own games played in an online tournament at chess.com, and I'm just going to go through it very quickly, just to show you some basic ideas behind English opening. And this is by no means gem of a game. This is not a grandmaster level game. This is not even an international master level game. This is just a club level game, a hobbyist level game, and it serves to show the most common ideas behind 1c4 English opening. So let's begin. This, you can see, is c4. I had white pieces. My opponent played g6. I played knight c3, and I should mention here that after g6, g3 is playable. In fact, it is recommended by Nigel Davies, grandmaster from England, and g3 is a very good way of playing this position. However, I played knight c3. My opponent played bishop g7, fianchettoing the dark-squared bishop. It's a good reply to English system. g3. Now I play g3 and e6, and the point of this move is to exert pressure on f5 and d5 squares, because these are the two squares that white chooses to attack most often in the English system. Bishop g2, I fianchetto my bishop, knight e7, again renewing that pressure on these two squares, e4, and so I choose to play the Botwinic system. The move e4 is characteristic of Botwinic system. It's a good system, and I'll show you the advantages of this system. However, I should also mention here that this system has a weakness on d4, which right now is not that obvious, because pawn is still on e6 and this guy is not yet on e5, but this bishop here is slicing through this diagonal. So this square is going to be a little weak, and it is always a little weak in Botwinic system, and white needs to guard against that. Anyways, knight b c6, knight g e2, and again I need to mention here that in Botwinic system, this knight on g1 needs to be brought to the square e2 and not to f3, because if you bring this knight up to f3, your bishop, light square bishop, is no longer controlling this diagonal and no longer guarding this square. So you need to bring your knight here to e2, then strengthening the c3 knight as well, and also exerting pressure on these two squares here. b6, my opponent is playing double fianchetto. Okay, that would be hyper modern. I castle and bishop b7, d3. Now the point of this move is to actually back up both of these pawns here, and also to open this diagonal for the bishop. He castles. I instantly pin the queen, the knight against the queen. So knight d4 jumps into the optimal square, but I take with my knight, and he takes back with the bishop, and now king h1, breaking the pin. And why I break the pin? Because I want to push this pawn up, and this is one of the main ideas in the English opening. Rook e8, and now f4, rook b8. Just want to show you, if my opponent plays here f6, trying to trap the bishop cannot be trapped, because bishop takes f6 and bishop takes f6, then e5. I have better position. But even if I do not take and instead go bishop h6, sorry about that, if I go bishop h6, then knight f5, trying to hit the bishop again, then I take with e pawn. So I thought about this move for a while, and I knew that my bishop is not going to be trapped. Anyways, rook b8, then f5, and I think this move was a little incorrect at this time. Some of the analysis shows it because I have weaknesses on dark squares around my king, and I need to take care of those first. But anyways, I had only 3 or 4 minutes left on my clock at this time. It was a 10-minute rapid tournament, so I just pushed this pawn up. E takes f5, e takes f5, bishop takes g2 check, king takes g2, queen c8, trying to come to this diagonal. f6, I push, and queen b7 check, king h3, the only square available, knight f5, queen g4, bishop e3, knight d5. Now my idea is to actually threat black with checkmate on g7, and that is where what I'm aiming at. Bishop takes g5, queen takes g5, king h8, g4, knight d4, queen h6, knight e6. This is the only defender of the square right now, so rook e1, trying to renew the threat, rook g8, rook takes e6, sacrificing some material, d takes e6, knight e7, again hitting this rook to renew the threat of checkmate. Now a little analysis after queen a6 by Houdini 4 Pro shows that I should have played a3 right away, and after a3, queen a4, queen d2, again coming back and guarding these light squares around my king, which is my weakness right now. c5, then knight takes g8, rook takes g8, king g2, e5, h3, queen c6 check, rook f3, a6, queen e3, queen c7, king g1, b5, b3, queen c6, rook f2, queen d6, queen takes b5, a takes b5, and a4, equalizing. This guy here is a little dangerous, I think, for black. Right now black cannot take, and I can easily then back it up with this pawn here, then moving this pawn up as well. I think this was the correct move order for me, but anyways, I played after queen e6. I took on g8 with my knight, and rook took back, a3, queen a4, rook f4. Now I'm trying to come again to this square here, d8, to try to hit this only guardian of the g7 square, which is the rook on g8, and trying to renew the threat of checkmate. But I think this is the wrong move order, again, because of the weak squares around my king. And my king is in direct attack, will be in direct attack of the queen shortly, as you will see. I should have done something about this weakness, but I didn't. At this point in time, I remember I had less than a minute on my clock, so I'm playing very rapidly, in fact, almost bullet style. Queen c2, rook d4, queen d1, rook d8. So I have achieved what I wanted to, but one move too late. Queen f1 check, king g3, king g1. I'm just going to show you the end of the game. This is draw by repetition. King g3, queen g1 check, king h3, queen f1 check, king g3, queen e1 check, king h3, queen f1 check, and draw. Now I should mention here, after king g3, Houdini recommends queen takes f6. After that, rook d7, e5, queen e3, rook c8, d4, e takes d4, queen takes d4, and all threats by white have been neutralized, because after queen takes d4 and rook takes d4 and king g8 and h4 and king f8, we are into rook endgame, and there are no more threats whatsoever. This is Houdini 4 Pro's analysis, and this is how Houdini 4 Pro recommends to play the game. a4, then king e8, king e5, f5, king d4. Here, instead of king f5, a move recommended by Commodore was g takes f6, and let's see how Houdini handles that one. G takes f6, king f7, king d5, king takes f6, king c6, g5, king takes c7, g4, c5, bishop takes c5, a5, c4, b6, a takes b6, a6, c3, a7, c2, a8 queen, c1 queen, check, king takes b6, queen e3 check. And this is a draw for white. So at the end of the day, the game was a draw, and computer analysis tells us that. Although I had some chances in the middle game, and I think one or two inaccurate moves made me lose that initiative that I had on black. Anyways, this was a quick game, quick introductive game to English opening, and just showing you some of the basic ideas. And from the next video we will start our investigation into the best moves for white in English system, and we'll look into but-winning system. That is the system that I like and I play, so we will primarily look into that, and we'll also look into some of the recommendations by the Grandmaster Nigel Davies. Also, there are some good points in the English system for black, I think, by the very good commentator Mr. Andrew Martin, and we'll try to look at those as well. But these will all be quick videos, 10 minutes or less, just looking at the ideas and not going too much into theory. So stay safe and happy hunting. And do visit chessmachina.com often. See ya.